Tom Walsh, 3 world championships, 2 indoors, 1 outdoor. 2 Olympic bronze, Commonwealth gold 2018, silver 2014. He wants to go back-to-back, 4th placing at the World Champs in Oregon just recently.
That is absolutely massive from Tom Walsh. 22.90. Tom Walsh has gone 4th on the all-time list. That is huge.
Tommy Walsh. Now, can he extend his lead? Well, he likes that one, and that is beyond 22 metres. Punches the air, does Tommy Walsh. That'll be a season's best. And that from Tommy Walsh is 22.31.
Okay, so 2 bits of commentary there, 22.31. That this season's best in the 22.90. 4th best ever in the world. That was from 2019. Well, he joins it out of Birmingham. Tom, it is so good to catch up. So when does the comp start for you, mate?
Well, it was meant to be on the 3rd of August, but we've just found out that there's no qualifying. So now it's just the straight final on the 5th of August.
Wow, okay. Is that good or bad?
It's probably indifferent, really. They would have had a qualifying that was, all I probably would have needed to throw was 20 metres to get through. So it doesn't really bother me too much.
Okay. Who's your main comp for this one?
There's probably 2 or 3 guys. Jack O'Gill, obviously.
Yep.
From NZ, and there's Chuck. I can't say his full name. He's US Nigerian, and he's a 2150 guy again. And there's a Kyle from South Africa as well, who's a low 21. So look, on my good day, they shouldn't touch me with a barge pole. But I know that you don't always have good days.
Tom Walsh is with us. Let me go through this. 3 world championships, 2 indoor, 1 outdoor, 2 Olympic bronze, Commonwealth gold in 2018, a silver the Commonwealth Games before that, so you're looking to go back-to-back, and a 4th placing at the World Champs in Oregon. Now, you notice that I very subtly have left that just a couple of minutes into talking to you, mate, because, I know that you're gutted. I was gutted too for you, bro. I was sick watching you. It just didn't seem to come together on the day.
Look, no, it didn't. And that's the long and short of it. I pride myself on turning up to major championships in shape and competing really well, and I just managed to miss the boat by actually quite a bit. And physically, I was in really good enough shape to be in the mix. I'd been throwing well enough in training to be in the mix, and then just mentally got a bit tight in the competition and just didn't let things happen, and ended up, still getting 4th, which people go, shit, that's 4th in the world, but it's 3 places lower than what I wanted.
Mm. When you say you get tight, mentally tight, just can you explain that to us? Because I'm sitting here thinking I know what you're talking about, but I don't want to presume that I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of a tricky one to explain, but it's like if you've got a cricket ball and you're trying to throw it far, the harder you try, the shorter it generally goes. So I was getting into that kind of mindset of trying too much, and rather than my first ever coach used to say, don't push the river, let it flow by itself.
Right.
Because that's when things line up well. That's when timing comes, and that's when it just pops out and goes a long way.
Look, we had Zoe Hobbs on last week, and she was telling me pretty much the same kind of parallel, Tom, in terms of her running in that. And she said she felt herself tightening up and not being really free the way that she's running. And we're speaking to Coach Jason Mortimer yesterday about it. And yeah, you kind of understand that it's just either it happens as you said, or it doesn't happen. But those are your margins, aren't they? Because that means the difference between another 30 or 40 centimetres in the middle.
Yeah, look, mate, to be honest, it can be a metre jump,
wow,
or even more sometimes in shots. So, look, we're balancing on a knife edge. We're balancing on between trying to move freely on one side and smoothly and easy, and then also on the other edge, on the other side, we're trying to be, aggressive and go, move with speed and that kind of stuff. So, but without trying, and that's such a fine line, such a balancing act. And that's what I got wrong, essentially, at World Champs. I just didn't quite nail that.
Tom Walsh is with us. Commonwealth Games kicking off on Friday, and 5th of August, you say that you're up. I know that you're such a ferocious competitor as well. Obviously, that's still burning right bright. I can feel that.
Yeah, it definitely got a little bit more gas on the fire as well. Not quite doing the job in Eugene. So, look, I know that I'm going to have to come here and throw well. And I want to throw well. I want to, put my hat back in the ring of, being one of the guys in men's shot put. Because I know physically I'm in the right shape. I know, I'm doing all the right stuff. I bloody love it too. I love the challenge, even though it pisses me off on a daily basis. But I really enjoy that.
How much do you love winning more than anything else?
Oh, it's especially when it's hard to win, and that's what it's like in men's shot put. It's pulling it off when it matters, when it counts. Whether even in training when we betting, we bets in training and we games there. It's just a drug. When you get it right under crunch time, it's even better. So I don't know if I can really articulate how much I like winning, Marty.
Yeah, go on, son. No, look, I mean, that's why you do it. I mean, let's be honest about it. We play sport. I've always, I said that to the kids when they were playing footy, mate. I said, we go to play to win. We used to play the song, sorry to bore you for a second, but I used to play Jimmy Barnes' Ain't No Second Prize in the car every single week. So, I said, we're there to win. Hey, if we lose, we act like gentlemen, but we're there to win. That's the whole point of this.
Look, exactly. So you must be really a fan of not keeping score in rugby and cricket games and stuff like that.
Just stop it. Look, I actually remember when little Pads was about 8 or 9, just playing, and his team had been beaten like 9 or 10 games in a row. And they won a game. They finally won a game on a Saturday morning. And on the Wednesday, these kids ran into training, mate. It just the difference in their headspace was just amazing to watch. And none of us told them or anything. They just knew that they'd won, and that feeling was exhilarating. They wanted it again.
Oh, exactly. And look, I think we're probably told as young kids that having a big ego is a bad thing to have, which I completely disagree. I just think it's about how you show your ego. And look, some people, come cocky and all that kind of stuff, which is probably a slightly wrong way to show the ego. But like winning is a great thing, and it builds your ego up, it builds your confidence up, and all top sports people, whether men or women in whatever sport, their egos are massive, it's just they come across in a different way. They're not arrogant, they're confident, and they believe in what they're doing.
Tom Walsh is with us on the platform. Look, I watched so much of the World Athletic Champs. I just absolutely loved it, mate. I've got a couple of questions about that before I let you go. The 100-metre sprinters, if you're talking about ego and posturing and rock stars, I love them. They preen and they strut. Your job's only for 10 seconds, mate, or less. Amazing to watch, though. I mean, what's it like being actually out in the middle of the track when all that other stuff's going on?
Yeah, look, it's pretty crazy. I think our qualifying was actually at the same time as the semi-finals. And so Eddie had just run his national record, Eddie Nikisha. He was obviously very pumped. And I remember walking through all the media zone and stuff, and then got out the other side, and Eddie just came out of nowhere and blindsided me.
Wow.
So it was just, you're right, the posturing and the egos that are in that are, it's phenomenal.
Something to behold.
It was great. It was great to see Eddie, and see him straight after breaking his dad's record as well.
So there's actually a real camaraderie between you all, because one of the things that I really loved, mate, was there were 10 field athletes and 10 track athletes at a World Champs for New Zealand. 10 black singlets in the field. That's just wild, man. I love this.
Yeah, I think one thing we're definitely doing well is the field events. We've, who would have thought that the country with, some Pacific Island roots and some big Anglo-Saxon roots would be pretty good at throwing stuff and things like that. So, but the whole team works pretty well, and it's actually a pretty young team as well. And so it's going to be exciting to see what happens and who comes up through the ranks and becomes challenges for medals and placings and stuff like that over the next, few Olympics.
And you looked on like I'm not an elderly figure, I suppose, but I mean, do the young ones come up? Do they ask you for advice? Do they chat you? Do they check you out? Watch the way that you do things? All of that.
Yeah, I think I think they see me as, they do see me as the older guy, which is, slightly strange because, 3 or 4 years ago, I was one of the younger ones in the team. And we had people like Valerie and Nick Willis and Stewie Farquhar and stuff. So, it does change very quickly. But I think we also, as I said, we all get on really well. And there is definitely a lot of talking, not necessarily about sets and reps and, what you're doing for training, but, about mindset and what you're thinking about coming into the competition and those kind of things. So it's definitely a good time on our training camps, that week prior to the major champs.
Tom Walsh then, ready to throw the shot put for us and go back to back, getting the gold. So 2 quick questions before you go. I know that, look, it's not the World Champs, it's not the Olympics, but this is the Commonwealth Games. You're representing New Zealand. You've won a gold. So where does it in terms of your own headspace, is it just for you another comp that you want to win, or is it special because it's the Commonwealth Games? What?
Look, it's definitely special. It's it's not like the All Blacks where they play 30 times in a year and you get to put the All Blacks top on 30 times. But, we only get to wear the black singlet 1 or 2 times a year. So anytime I get the chance to wear that and go out and compete for my country. And I also know that, the Commonwealth Games is still a massive thing in New Zealand and the amount of support and stuff like that, like, I'll get more messages on social media and text messages and so forth for the Commonwealth Games than World Championships.
Wow.
And so I still want to go out there and throw far and win. Like I'm here to win and I'm here to throw a long way. And so that doesn't really change at any competition. And I'm still trying to do the same things. I'm still trying to balance those things we talked about earlier, the freedom, the looseness, and then the aggression, on that knife edge, and get it right.
Well, you represent our country just amazingly well, mate. I love it. I love watching you compete. I just, you're actually just, I get a little shiver whenever I watch the New Zealanders out there in the black scene. I just wish you all the very best. I don't know, be free and throw goddamn hard, man.
Hey, look, that's what I'll try and do for you. But and thanks for having me on.